Lucas was 18 years old. He had always dreamed of adventure, of finding hidden treasures and visiting unknown lands. One day, while exploring his grandfather's attic, Lucas found an old, dusty map. The map showed a place called the Lost Island. The island was far from Eldora, and no one had ever returned from there. Lucas's eyes sparkled with excitement. He packed his bag with food, a bottle of water, a flashlight, and a small compass. He took the map, looked at it carefully, and said, "I'm going to find the Lost Island." Lucas walked through the forest, following the map's directions. The trees were tall, and the forest was thick. It was quiet, but sometimes he heard strange animal sounds. Lucas was a little scared, but he kept going. "I will be brave," he whispered to himself. After hours of walking, he reached the river. The map showed that he needed to cross it, but how? There was no bridge. Lucas looked around and found some strong, long branches. He made a simple raft and floated across the river. As he reached the other side, he felt proud. "I am really on an adventure," he thought. On the other side of the river, there was a dark jungle. Lucas looked at the map. "I have to go through this jungle to reach the Lost Island," he said. He took a deep breath and entered the jungle. The jungle was full of strange plants and animals. He saw colorful birds, big snakes, and strange insects. Suddenly, he heard a loud noise. A big tiger was looking at him from behind a tree. Lucas was scared, but he remembered something his grandfather told him: "Stay calm, and animals will leave you alone." He took a step back, then another. The tiger watched him, then slowly walked away. Lucas sighed with relief and continued on his path. After hours of walking through the jungle, Lucas finally reached a high hill. He climbed to the top and looked around. There it was, the Lost Island. It was small, with tall cliffs and a big cave at the center. He climbed down the hill and reached the shore. There was an old boat by the water. It looked broken, but Lucas was determined. He pushed the boat into the water and paddled with his hands. After a short time, he reached the island. On the island, Lucas saw the big cave from the map. He walked inside, his flashlight lighting up the dark path. The cave was cold and quiet, and he could hear his footsteps echoing. Suddenly, he saw something shining ahead. It was a chest, a big, old treasure chest. Lucas ran to it and opened it slowly. Inside, he found gold coins, jewels, and a note. The note said, "This treasure belongs to those who are brave." Lucas smiled. He took a small piece of treasure to remember this adventure and decided to leave the rest for others who were brave enough to find it. Lucas left the island and made his way back through the jungle, the river, and the forest. When he returned to Eldora, the people were amazed by his story. He showed them the small piece of treasure and said, "The Lost Island is real, and there is more treasure for those who dare to find it." Lucas knew this was just the beginning. His heart was full of excitement, and he was ready for his next adventure. This story is about courage and adventure. Lucas showed us that sometimes we need to be brave to find great things. So, where would you go if you could have an adventure? What treasure would you find? Thank you for listening, and we'll see you in the next story.